Hi, welcome to Make It Monday. I'm Jim with Amy Sews, and today I thought I'd share with you a little technique I came up with on how to pleat fabric easily. And I'm not talking about for ruffles, things like that, but more for like an all-over garment look. If you're doing like a pleated front of a shirt or a bodice in an heirloom blouse or etc. Uh, there's several different ways that you could do it, different tools you can use. There's like a pleater board that you would involve pressing, things like that. And I came up with kind of a simpler way to work with it, and it just takes a little bit of time and some stabilizer. And I'm going to take you over now to the machine because I have my machine all set up, ready to go. And basically, for the machine setup, I'm using a straight stitch. And what I did was I went and changed the stitch length to as long as it'll go because I want to do a baste. The far left-hand position of my foot. And I also increased the needle tension because I'm going to want to be able to pull these threads out. And for demonstration purposes, I'm using like a light green fabric. And in the bobbin, I have like a bright pink fabric, pink thread, just to show the stitching off with white on my needle. So this way you can see the contrasting of threads, because this line is just for basting. And what I'm also working with is a wash away or tear away type of sticky stabilizer that I have it pulled back, and I have my starched fabric pressed on top. This way I'm not worried about any kind of puckers or shifting of the fabric, etc. And as I go to work on it, I also use my quilting guide or a seam guide, in this case what I'm using it for. And I'm going to lower my presser foot so it's right beside that cut edge. And I'm going to sew straight down. I think I'll speed my machine up just a little bit. I usually do sew a little slower when I do this because I have my tensions of my thread increased, and I don't want to risk of snapping a thread, and also because I'm keeping my eye right here on the guide. That's where I'm looking at to get a straight line. And basically what I've done was I've basted that first line, and you can see here on the back the bright pink, but also little flecks of pink in the front of that, so that way you could go ahead and see where the bobbin thread got pulled out. And then the next step is you go to your iron, and you will just open it up and press it flat with your iron to get a nice sharp crease, just like I did here. And now it's no longer sticky. And then I go back to the machine, and since I had my needle position in the far left, I'm now using the side of my presser foot as a guide. And I lower my foot, and I'm just sewing right along that. And again, this time I'm looking at the side of my foot as it's going along. Taking my time to stitch it up. Get to the end. I'm cutting my basting thread. Since this is going to be removed, I'm not going to back stitch or tie off at the beginning or end because I'm going to be pulling these stitches out. Now that I have it done, I'll fold it back in front, and I'm just going to use the base of my machine right now to help as a pressing tool here, and press everything to the opposite side of the stitched fold. As you can see there, I just basically have my stitching based in position. Now I'm going to use that guide again to guide right along the side of that pleat, sewing down. And basically it's just continuing, one row after the other row, using a different guide as reference. Get to the end, tie off, pull it away from the stabilizer. And then, of course, I would go to my iron and press it flat. And what's nice with this method is I don't have to worry about using a lot of pins to hold the fabric in place. So I'm not worried about the fabric shifting by going back and forth in different directions either. And sew down this way. And now that I'm at the end, I can easily just again tie off, and it's just very repetitious in a way. You're just going back and forth and back and forth, doing the same again to get everything fused in position like that with your fingers, just to hold it in place. And then I would go back and line it up, and so row after row until I got a whole series of stitches done in pleats. And then once you're done with that, you leave the stabilizer on. You can then go to your machine, go with a regular stitch length, regular needle tension, and then you could stitch right along the edge of the fold there to secure the stitches in place, the pleats in place. Another thing you could do is if you want, you could go ahead and use a triple needle. And so right along it to get almost like a miniature entre deux effect. Here I use some cross stitching and some other decorative stitches just to get a different look of the pleat. And of course, when you're done, you'll pull out that bottom basting, tear away your stabilizer or wash it out, and you have intricately placed even rows of pleats easily done on your sewing machine. And I kind of forgot to use my ruler, didn't I? And my pencil or marking pen. Well, the entire piece was done without using any rulers, any marking pens that could permanently mark or discolor my fabric. You know, sometimes they say that you shouldn't iron them. And of course, in this case, you're going to do a lot of ironing. Well, you don't have to worry about it staining and pre-marking your fabric permanently because you never use a ruler. I just use the edge of my stabilizer as my first guide. And then again, like you saw, just folding and stitching using the presser foot and my quilting guide or a straight edge guide, whatever you like to use the guiding for your various rows. And again, it's basted place first, and then top stitch or decorative stitch to complete. Get rid of your stabilizer, and you're done. It's that easy. So I hope you like today's tip. And again, be sure to follow us here on Amy Sews. And of course, you can go to amysews.com to get all the updates for all the different kind of classes and programs we have going on here at the shop, and also to follow us on YouTube, etc. And if you kind of like my little technique here, want to follow me along, you could also follow me on sewingexpo.com, where I'm one of the instructors for the Original Sewing Quilt Expo. You can follow me as I go on tour there throughout the year. And that being said, hope you stop by our shop here in Harmony, Pennsylvania. We'd love to have you. We have our monthly subscription boxes for the serger and also for the scan and cut. And of course, we have Sharon's Tea Towel of the Month Club. So there's some things that you don't want to miss. So be sure to go to amysews.com to find out all the latest things that we're doing here in the store. And of course, stop by sometime to visit us here in Harmony, Pennsylvania. And that being said, remember, the more you know, the more you sew. Have a great day. And thanks for watching.